There's something kind of unhinged about what I did last month. I dove headfirst into 150 different e-commerce stores. Yes, 150. If my screen time report could talk, it would file a restraining order, each with their own wild ambitions, TikTok dreams, and product pitches that claim to change people's lives in 30 seconds. I saw it all, from dropshipping stores slinging glow-in-the-dark mugs to Amazon sellers optimizing their way into the stratosphere. And don't get me started on TikTok shops, which are basically the Wild West of product launches right now. Hi, I'm Josh, and these are the 3 truths your favorite e-commerce gurus never talk about. Because what I'm about to share this isn't just theory. This is the difference between building a store that's working and one that's stuck at 0, no matter how much you throw at advertising. So let me tell you what pushed me down this rabbit hole. It all started a few months ago when a couple of buddies in e-commerce hit me up, complaining about their sales numbers falling overnight. These were people running ads like they were printing money, hundreds, sometimes thousands a day going into PPC campaigns. They weren't buying traffic, they were running charity events for Meta, but for all the effort, the sales numbers were stuck, barely budging. Worse, their stores had no life. The product pages were a beige wasteland of outdated photos, endless walls of text, and zero imagination when it came to presenting their actual product. And in e-commerce, you don't get second chances. If your product page is boring, people bounce faster than me at a 3-hour webinar. At some point, after my 5th "what am I missing?" DMS, I wanted answers. Instead of just lecturing them, I decided to get surgical about it and analyze the top performing stores myself. Dropshipping, TikTok Shop, Amazon. If it was selling, I reverse engineered it. I wanted to know what made those stores pop off, what made people actually want to buy, not just click and bounce. That research brought me to 3 huge content secrets, patterns every successful seller was using whether they sold phone cases, pet beds, or face scrubbers. Stick around because it gets juicy. Secret number 1, PPC is just gasoline, content is the engine. Alright, first big lesson, and this one's gonna sting for a lot of you. Running ads, dumping cash into PPC or TikTok promos is pointless. The traffic comes, you get some clicks, but if your content can't convert, if your product page is confusing, those visitors are leaving quicker than they came. Here's what I saw over and over again. The best Amazon stores are obsessed with the basics. They start with optimized content. I'm not talking about keyword stuffing your title like you're scrambling for SEO points. No, the top sellers craft titles that are loaded with exactly what buyers search for and nothing else. Every word is money in the bank. The bullet points aren't just loose facts. They're tightly written benefit statements that transform plastic cup into spill-proof portable tumbler, keeps drinks cold for 12 hours. Not only do these draw in readers, they eliminate doubts before people even start browsing reviews. Big difference here. A poorly structured product page is just digital tumbleweed, endless paragraphs of text with no real formatting, blurry product photos that look shot at midnight, descriptions written as if you're half asleep, and then the optimized one, a page that's inviting, clean, and answers the questions people actually have. A visitor lands on this sort of page and instantly gets drawn into what the product is, what it does, and why their life needs it. Let's get brutally honest. When you layer PPC over optimized content, that's when you see multipliers. Those ads actually work for you. You get organic traffic, you rank better, and suddenly your ad spend gets you a return instead of just more traffic bouncing out the door. Meanwhile, if you pile ads on garbage content, all you're doing is accelerating your losses. Josh, my ads aren't working. Well, your engine's missing, man, so I'll say it again for the folks in the back. If your store can't convert the organic visitors it already gets, paid traffic is just gonna help you fail faster. That's the reality nobody wants to admit, but this is the difference between hustling and actually building something sustainable. Secret number 2, thumbnails are silent salespeople. Now let's talk thumbnails. In the analysis, I quickly realized thumbnails are your silent salespeople. They do the selling before your words, before your price, even before anyone understands what your brand is about. Take Amazon for example. The stores winning at scale all religiously upload the maximum set of thumbnails, usually 7 to 9. The first image is always spot on, pure white background, crystal clear, no nonsense. But what separates amateurs from pros is what comes after, the story sequence. Imagine you're selling a pet cushion. Your first image is that clean shot, right? Then the second image shifts the conversation. There's a dog curled up, totally blissed out, maybe even snoring. If the dog looks happier than you on payday, that's a win. Instantly, it's about comfort, not material. Flip over to the next one. You've got a diagram explaining the orthopedic foam, maybe even a quick blurb about how it helps older pets. On the next, you've got a sizing chart so buyers don't panic about ordering the wrong size. Maybe a visual badge or a quote from a happy pet owner, something that shouts, "People trust us." This whole stack of images isn't just decoration, it's a story told in seconds. You know what most people do on Amazon? They don't read your description, they flick through the thumbnails. They decide based on what they see. If your store skimps on this, you lose before you get started. Let's take it over to TikTok Shop, same principle, different format. Your demo video, if that first frame isn't scroll stopping, if it doesn't instantly make people say, "Hold up, what's that?" They keep swiping. No smoothie blender meme is saving you if your thumbnail is boring. You see the difference every day. One store stops thumbs cold, the other never even gets noticed. So here's the truth most sellers never want to hear. You can spend hours on your product description, but if your visuals, thumbnails, video frames, the stuff that people see first don't sell, everything else falls flat. And the sad part? This kind of storytelling is free. It just takes a little effort and the right perspective. Secret number 3, a plus content is your closing pitch. Now for my favorite part, the closer, the A+ content. You know how in movies the hero always has one last speech that seals the deal. In Amazon, this is your sales page section beneath the main listing. It's where you take those thumbnail moments and expand them into a full-blown pitch. The best sellers treat this section as prime real estate. It's not just a chance to repeat yourself, it's where the product's real benefits go, from abstract to personal. If you're selling those pet cushions, the A+ content dives into why the foam helps aging pets thrive, how it stands up to years of rough use, why the brand story matters, maybe even how your store was founded because you love your own animals that much. Buyers crave emotional connection, and this is your space to build it. There's more. They pack in usage tips, technical specs, sections on customer service, even trust elements, real reviews made visual, guarantees, certifications. Some sellers even level up to premium A+ content. They add demo videos, interactive layouts, maybe a behind the scenes look at the company. This isn't just for show. Top stores track how every line, every module impacts their funnel. Amazon's brand analytics dashboard is their playground. They obsess over click-through rates, add to cart rates, purchase conversion rates. If people drop off at any step, they know where and why. For some stores, a dull image can create CTR. For others, weak benefits bury the add to cart rate, while too few trust signals slam the door on purchases. I want you to picture this. There's a literal funnel here and it's leaking at every stage. Traffic skims the listing. Some people click, fewer add to cart, even fewer buy. Your job with A+ content is to plug all those leaks, to smooth that customer journey so every step feels reassuring, easy, and inevitable. Bonus insight, data-driven content optimization. Here's a bonus you didn't expect. The top sellers aren't just winging it, they're analyzing every detail. When I looked at their dashboards, I was floored. These folks know their numbers down to the last decimal. CTR, conversion rate, drop-off point, they measure and obsess. They don't guess if their new thumbnail worked. They A/B test it. They don't hope their new review badge will drive purchases. They check the numbers 12 hours later. The result? These sellers don't just roll the dice, they turn every experiment into a step up, constantly refining, adjusting, squeezing more and more out of the same traffic. You can tell their growth is steady, their reviews are plentiful, and their stores never look or feel stale. When you operate like that, what looks like luck from the outside is actually pure strategy. The difference is, the average store owner gives up after one bad week. The top 1% rebuild the funnel, retest, and come back stronger. So here's what we learned, and trust me, these are lessons that cost some people thousands to figure out the hard way. You don't build a store that lasts by drowning it in ads. You build it by nailing the content, the visuals, the story, the way every touchpoint turns a browser into a buyer. Your thumbnails are the first handshake, your A+ content is the compelling conversation, and your analytics are the roadmap to fixing every pothole before it wrecks your journey. Ads are only useful when the rest is dialed in, and most importantly, you can start making these fixes today. It's not magic, it's just work, and smart work at that. If you've made it this far, 2 things. First, comment case study below if you want me to tear down real stores, showing you exactly what wins and what kills sales. Second, hit like if you want this video to help another desperate seller avoid the pitfall of bad ads and ignored content. And hey, if you don't like this advice, that's fine. Just keep spending $500 a day to sell 0 items. I'll be here making videos about why that happened. Let's make e-commerce less about wasted potential and more about stores actually selling to real people.